Alright, welcome to Line by Line. We're going to be doing Civ4 Civilization Infos, talking to you about the different tags in the Civilization Infos file so you can mod Civ4 better. Today, we'll start with the civilizations. So this file is used by Civ4 to determine what the civilization should be like. So let's take a look at each one. So one thing to know in general is this is the outer tag. It's the first tag. It's what tells the XML file what tags are in there because it looks at another file. So that's just a piece of information. This is the tag that holds everything else in there, and then this is where the actual tags and definition of each civilization starts for this one. Alright, so if you want to make a new civilization, I've gone over this before, but let's just recap real quick. You scroll down, select everything inside civilization info, copy, and then paste at the end of the file. I'm not going to do that because we're actually looking at the original file here, but you get the point. All right, so here is the tags. Let's start with type. Type is what the XML looks for to reference a given piece of information. So for example, when this says Civilization America, whenever you want to know about a civilization in XML, like when you're using the code, it will look for it, in the XML anyway, when you type Civilization America. So what we're doing when we say type right here is we're saying this is the name of this in every other file, and this is what looks for this specific civilization. All right, and for example, that's used over and over, like units Marines is replaced with unique unit Navy SEAL, if you know the game, or supermarkets are replaced with mall. These capital letter lists are, capital letter titles are just they're like pointing, not, I don't want to use pointers because it's not, that's a programming speak, but they're pointing to other things, to other types in the XML to say, hey, go look over here. It's what tells the program what to do. So you just name it whatever you want. You just type it here. Then we have the text, which is the next four. That will be description, short description, adjective, and civilopedia. Description is like American Empire. Short description is like America. Adjective is American. Civilopedia is like the history of America that's in the civilopedia. These four say text, key, civ, whatever, right? So what you type here is, again, another type name, this time for text, that the program is going to look for to find out where it should look to put the text. That's why if you don't put it in a text file, and we're going to talk more about text files at another point, but then you won't have anything there, and it will just spit out in the game. It'll say, you've probably seen it before if you've been messing around with modding, text, key, civ, whatever. It means your link didn't work, so the computer program just said, Civ just said, oh well, here, have the type title instead because I don't know what to do. All right, so you use these four to name it. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Next up is the art, which would be the next four tags right here. So let's look at these on the modding wiki because I think they're helpful. So the first one is art defined tag. Well, it's default player color. Default player color tells us the default player color for the given civilization. Now, again, this is just pointing to another value. It's asking the XML files for a player color. Those are found in assets, XML, interface, player colors. You're starting to see a pattern here, right? When you want to reference something, you just type it in, and then in another file, it's probably defined there. That happens a lot. It is just like giant collections of things. And you're saying, okay, you go get a civilization is just a collection of a bunch of references, basically, in code. All right? So to change the colors, you have to go here to see all the possible colors. All right? Next, art style type. Those are listed in the global types. All right, in the section art style types. And they tell like the cities, what they look like, not the units. Okay, that's very important. Because the unit art style type is, and I think this is only used in Beyond the Sword, but I'm not sure about that. The unit art style type is pointing to unit art infos, which is in the same folder as this, by the way. And says, oh, they're European or they're Asian or they're African or whatever. So we've got those three. Art define tag tells us what the flag of the civilization looks like, and etc. So all those things are pointing to different files. So when you color and art style may already be set up for you, but when you do an art define, just like the text, you have to go tell the program, and we went over this in my other video, but you have to go tell the program what my new, let's say we do Bulgaria, art def civ Bulgaria, and I type Bulgaria. That won't do anything unless I go and fix Bulgaria. All right, now let's look at like the nitty gritty. Okay, playable. This tells if a human can select this civ, right? So if we look right here, these are under Boolean. I wanted to show you how to use the modding wiki too. Is a player civilization playable by a player, either human or AI? If it's 0, then it's minor or barbarian. If it's 1, then humans and AIs can use it. Then AI playable just tells us, can this be used by an AI player? Yes or no? And if it's 0. So these are like quick little switches to make a civ like not playable by the AI or not playable by anyone except minor civs. All right. Cities. This is just a big list of text references saying, hey, go look in the text files and here's the city names. I think it's self-explanatory, but what's neat is this is a list, so you can just keep adding more and more. That's what, in fact, that works for all these lists. So we come down here to like this array. America could have, if we wanted it to, multiple unique buildings. We just copy this part, and if you paste it, boom, you've got it. Another building tag, and it helps you with it. All right, building class type says, hey, what unique building do I want to replace? Because the buildings thing is telling me what unique buildings I need. Oh, the supermarket. What am I going to put in its place? The mall as the unique building, and so on. It works the same way with the unit class types and the unit types. What about free units they get at the start of the game? Did you know you could do that? You tell what kind of unit you want inside this little structure here, unit class settler, and how many you get. What about free buildings like the palace? Hey, I want free barracks in this civilization's first city. Go for it. And you can even tell if you get it or not. So they do this a lot. It's kind of just to keep the code structure for when it's a integer versus a Boolean. Boolean is 0 or 1, true or false. Integer is a number. All right, so when it's Boolean, it's just almost always set to 1. Okay? It's basically saying, yes, this is a free building class. So that's not like a big deal. Okay? Just when you copy it, leave it the same. All right, free text. What text do they start with? And again, 2's not the limit. You could give them more. You could give them less. You could say they're none. Disable text. You can even say, hey, this civilization, they can't research, I don't know, let's pick one. aesthetics or flight or whatever. You can just straight up say this Civ can't do it. This one's one of the more interesting ones to me. So right here, disable text. They have examples of this on the modding wiki. Like this would stop you from researching hunting right here. I mean, that's just useful. All right. Initial civics. What civics do they start with? You can switch it right here. So you just use the civic type to link to, guess what? A civic you named, and you've got it. Leaders. Lots of these are easy. This is why I picked this one as the first one. Leaders. Washington. Boom. Franklin Roosevelt. Boom. Lincoln. And then you can use 1 or 0. Use 0 to say no, not allowed anymore. Like if you're too lazy to delete it, you just hit 0. All right. Now let's talk about 3 more ones that are interesting. And then, believe it or not, we're done. All right. Derivative Civ. This is the Civ that if you make a colony, and if you play Beyond the Sword, you know what I'm talking about. You make a colony, what Civ is most likely to be the Civ? Like, what does it first try to make as the colony Civ? America doesn't have one, but Arabia doesn't have one either. I gotta find one. Aztecs would make America. In fact, a lot of them are America. But Babylon makes Persia. The Byzantine Empire actually makes Greece. That's cool. Carthage gives you Spain. And so on. Okay, let's wrap it up right here. I'm not even going to scroll all the way back up. So, it's pointing to a civilization saying, hey, what Civ is going to spawn here? Civ selection sound and Civ action sound. These are the 2 unit things. Like when you click them and then you say, like if you click on Americas, they say yes or your orders. And then you do action sound is like, consider it done or whatever. So that's what these are. They're pointing to sound files, and we need to go over the sound files to talk about those in depth. But they're listed. I don't even know. Oh, they do. They have these in MISC. They're listed in the audio 3D scripts file, and that's a whole nother video. But now you have an idea of what all these tags do. So I hope that was helpful. If it is, let me know on the forum or in the comments. And I hope you have good modding. And now you understand a little bit more about the civilizations file. If you have questions, just drop them below. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.